Most GoHighLevel SaaS churn happens weeks before you ever see it. You built the snapshot, you loaded the workflows, connected Stripe, priced the plans, wrote the onboarding doc, recorded the walkthrough, set up the support inbox. And every month, one or two of them leave anyway. The work is done, the product is fine, they go regardless. So here's the question worth asking. Why do they actually go? It turns out there are two kinds of churn in this model, and only one of them sends you an email. The other one already happened weeks ago while you were still paying for it. A friend of mine runs about 110 of these accounts at $400 to $500 a month, and I helped him build it. He's got the first kind down to 2.7% a month. It's the second kind almost nobody talks about. Start with the one you see. Every single time somebody cancels on him, he gets the same sentence. Your leads aren't good enough. Near enough word for word, every time, for years. And he came out of the automotive world 20 years in it, so he knows exactly what that sentence is covering for. Nobody called them. The leads landed in the CRM and sat there. Nobody picked up the phone on day one. Nobody sent the text on day 3 while that person was still shopping around. And then the month closes, the numbers look thin, and the easiest thing in the world is to decide the software was the problem. Here's the uncomfortable bit. From where your client is standing, that's not even a lie. They genuinely didn't get results. They just don't connect it to the part they skipped, which leads somewhere useful. And this is the whole idea. If your client can kill the account by doing nothing, a lot of them will do nothing. Not because they're lazy in some moral sense, because follow-up is the least enjoyable part of anyone's week, and it's the first thing to fall off, so he stopped trying to fix that with training and better instructions. He built it into the product. His snapshot sends the texts. It leaves the ringless voicemails. It does the follow-up that he knows from 2 decades of watching sales floors isn't happening at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon. And that's the shift. The client not showing up stopped being fatal to the account because the software kept working the leads anyway. You're not selling them a tool. You're selling them the thing the tool does while they're busy. Then he does 2 things almost nobody does. First, he sets the expectation before they sign, not after they complain. He tells them plainly it takes about 90 days of consistent data entry before the pipeline is full enough for the system to start reactivating old leads on its own. 90 days. He says that out loud while they're still deciding, which feels like it should cost him the sale. And second, he refuses to sell leads. His words, near enough, I'm only selling you software. This is not going to get you more leads or more appointments. It's a CRM. What you put in is what you get out. That's a genuinely unfashionable thing to say to a prospect in 2026. And I think it's the single biggest reason his numbers look the way they do. So what do they look like? 2.7% a month last year. Now he called that incredibly low, and I want to be straight with you because it's good rather than remarkable. 2.7 a month compounds to roughly 28% a year. ChartMogul benchmarked over 2,000 software companies and found the median settles around 3 to 4% a month, so he's beating the middle. But at his price point, $400 to $500 a month, their data puts the typical figure closer to 2.2, which makes him roughly where you'd expect for what he charges, doing everything right and still losing about a quarter of his book every year. That's the honest ceiling on this model. And it's before we talk about the accounts that leave without telling anybody. Here's the one nobody warns you about. Your client's card fails. Nobody canceled anything. The card expired, or the bank replaced it, or a fraud check flagged it. GoHighLevel retries, and by default, that's 3 attempts, 1 day apart. 3 days, and then it stops. And when those 3 fail, nobody emails your client to tell them. There is a request on GoHighLevel's own ideas board asking for exactly that. Automatic emails with a link so the customer can go and fix their card. It was submitted in July 2020, 216 votes. And in April of this year, HighLevel's own staff update still lists payment failure notifications as upcoming. That's 6 years. 6 years where the one person who could fix this has no idea it's happening. If you're on the newer version, it gets sharper. GoHighLevel's own comparison page lists 2 things that exist in version 1 and are simply absent in version 2. Self-serve reactivation after a failed payment, and updating the card on file. So on version 2, a client whose payment just failed can't fix their card themselves and can't restart their own account. They have to come to you. And if they'd already half moved on, they won't bother. Meanwhile, the account sits there costing you money. I can't point you at a policy page that spells that out. I went looking, and the page people quote is actually about canceling your own agency subscription, but the operators describe it. One wrote that his agency had been charged for almost a year for a service that wasn't being paid for. And the detail that stuck with me, those charges never showed up in the sub-account billing section, so they were difficult to find. Now the fair part, because it isn't always them, sometimes the account dies, and it's squarely your fault. You handed over a generic snapshot with nothing configured in it. You did no onboarding worth the name. You priced it at a number that never matched what they actually received, or you sold to a business with no lead flow to work in the first place, which is the one I see most often. And honestly, nobody has hard numbers on any of this. GoHighLevel has over 14,000 reviews on Trustpilot, 97% of them 5 stars, and if you search all of them for the word churn, you get 1. Those sites measure how agencies feel about HighLevel. They were never built to measure how your client felt about you. So, put the follow-up inside the product, have the 90-day conversation before they sign, and go and look at your failed payments this week, because some of those people have already gone. If you're weighing GoHighLevel, the extended 30-day trial and my full notes are linked below.